days before the Northway, we were kind of by ourselves up here. It was considered the far north by anybody downstate. But it was always a good, livable community. People got along very well together. About a month after Pearl Harbor, when the group always was getting ready for the Red Cross drive, and then we started talking about the United Way idea, and everybody agreed it should be in Plattsburgh, but with the war just starting, why it wasn't the time. And then after the war, you'd hear people talking, well, the United Way is a community chest is successful here and there. Why don't we have it in Plattsburgh?
People were beginning to complain about too many fund drives. They wanted it combined.
Well, finally in 1950, my wife, who had lived in two communities where the chest was very successful, decided to call a meeting. So we called a meeting at our home of, I think we asked a total of 8 people. And 3 came, which seemed to be a little discouraging, but by the time we finished talking, we were all enthusiastic of the idea. A couple weeks later, we had another meeting with a few more people, and we called a public meeting.
William Murphy and Wally Buck of the Imperial Wallpaper Company came to me and asked for some assistance and help in organizing all of the fundraising campaigns into one.
Clyde went to New York and was able to secure help from the national organization, and they sent us a man who had just completed the drive in Boston, Massachusetts. He was very helpful, and we had a fairly successful drive that first year.
The community itself that deserves all the credit, and as I've traveled throughout the country, you don't find many communities that can come up to the high standards of community support which exists in this city and county.
Caring Hearts, Build Hope is the theme for the drive this year, and I think that speaks very well of the North Country. I think we have a unique place in the world here. I think that we do have a lot of people with caring hearts, and I think that we continue to build hope in the community, and we continue to build a positive community.
Well, Denton Publications has been in Elizabethtown serving Essex County, Clinton County, and Warren County for over 50 years. Getting here about 11 years ago, it's difficult to be involved in all the communities and really understand the nature of all the good organizations that provide services throughout the region. So when the United Way of Clinton County came to Essex County, it provided a great resource for us to really make a good contribution to the services that are provided in the area without actively getting involved in each one of the groups and each one of the organizations that are service providers. Being an employer in the area, having payroll deduction for our employees made it easy for them, once we'd have the drive, to be able to participate. Rather than just chipping in $1 or $2, now they could actually contribute $50 or $100 or $150 or $250 through payroll deduction and really make it a painless experience for them.
This is the largest goal that has been established by the United Way this year. The goal is $650,000.
The ice storm of 1998 forced everyone to reconsider how prepared we were for an emergency.
United Way, Red Cross, the Board of Legislators for Bill Bingle, and my office, we worked many different months in trying to formulate a book that was for the North Country. It's a map, if you will, to help provide people with telling them or suggesting to them what they should have in the type, prepare for emergency, such as we have the upcoming Y2K situation. We're just trying to tell them to treat it no differently, if you will, than a major snowstorm. Have a couple days of water, foodstuffs, have some batteries certainly for your cameras, for your radios, so that you can communicate. But that booklet is the quick and easy map to provide to our citizens. And that booklet has gone across the state of New York because the United Way was a very proactive agency in getting this together. and many different counties are copying it. We don't have a copyright on it, nor do we want one on this book, to help the people. That's what it's for, is to help the people.
Facing problems at an early age is always better, and so helping our most vulnerable, the young, has been a prime objective of the Clinton and Essex County United Ways. Success by Six is one example of this commitment.
The whole idea of Success by Six is to ensure that all children in a community come to school ready to learn. Probably the most frustrating thing we've dealt with in the school systems in the past has been as children come to us, there's a variety of information out there. Families that might have seen agencies or work with agencies, and including medical facilities and so on and so forth. And for us to be aware of that was a very difficult process as an educational situation. So we might be moving along on with a child and working with them in certain areas and not know they receive certain services or in need of certain services. Well, United Way has really promoted community services, has really helped people access services, and has really given the kids in this area an opportunity they wouldn't have, I'm sure they would not have had, without the kind of efforts that United Way has put together in terms of coordinating, facilitating, and developing services in the area. I can't think of a better way to make a dollar work for children in this community.
Literacy Volunteers of Clinton County touch the lives of over 600 community residents. And we are fortunate enough that there's also literacy volunteers in Essex County. So with United Way, representing United Way of Clinton and Essex, we're able to incorporate and serve many, many residents. The impact that we have is that we teach adults to read.
This is a reunion of the learner and the tutors, and we decided it would be nice to mix together with a potluck luncheon, and there is wonderful dishes. Some people come here and they don't know anything. They just don't know how to say no or yes, and it's amazing the progress that they do, and it's very fascinating for us, the tutors, to see the progress, and it's very nice because also we learn from their country, and it's almost like traveling all over the world because we have so many different nationalities here. They are very bright and they're very willing to learn, and they just need practice. They just need practice, and that's what we do here. I learned English as an adult. And I feel for these people. That can be very lonesome, to be here and not being able to communicate. So I really, really advocate this cause. It's a very good cause.
Currently we have between 200 and 300 volunteers. Now those volunteers predominantly do one-on-one tutoring. But there are other volunteers that come in the office, that have office coverage time, that work with walk-ins, because we do advertise that if someone wants to walk in the door and seek our services. The unemployment rate has gone down in the area, and we're proud to say the literacy rate has gone down. But we're working on it, and there's still so many people in this area that need services and need to improve their skills. And we also know there are people that come to us that can't read at all.
Adrian is possibly our oldest student. He will have his 77th birthday in August. We always celebrate that. Adrian was born with only one ear and only about somewhere between 50 and 60% of hearing in his other ear. He has been coming to me for, I think, around 3 years, and he has made wonderful progress. He's a darling old gentleman. We all love him. He is widowed. I think perhaps what motivated him to come to literacy was when he discovered he couldn't handle writing his own grocery list.
No, I couldn't read very much. I couldn't read much of anything. I could get a word now and then, but now I get quite a few words. But to me, I figured I missed all this stuff. That's the way I figured, you know.
Adrian was terribly mistreated in public school by a teacher who, if Adrian could not hear something, gave him a whack beside the head, which was the worst possible thing she could have done to him.
Just because I couldn't hear, she hit me on this side. See, I only got hearing in this ear. And see, I ain't got no hole in here or nothing here. And see, and then it was getting me ugly, so. So anyway, my father was still living there, and he sent me to Malone School, and that's where I had electric treatments in my ear, and then I come back. But when I did get back, I was a little bit taller, and the kids were like that, and then I didn't want to go to school. It's getting to be a big difference, see, because I begin to do more. So, like, they got to have their mind on it. Like, if they want to learn to read, you can. But like, if they don't want to, you ain't going to learn them.
And what message would you give to somebody that maybe they feel too proud to admit that they need some help? What would you say to them?
Well, that would be hard, because a lot of people, they want to admit that they can't do nothing, and that's hard.
What would you say to encourage them?
I'd say, well, you got to try it. Just to find out, you got to try it.
And it's made a big difference in your life?
Made a big difference in my life. And I got two sisters the same way. We was on our own ever since we were small. Our parents died when we were young, and we were on our own, so. That's a big difference today, boy, oh boy. When my wife was living, she used to give to all them places. She always had money for them all. I wasn't a rich man, but we always give Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and everything like that, so.
Adrian was 27 in 1950 when people like Clyde Lewis and Alan and Dorothy Booth first created the Community Chest and then United Way. For almost all of those 50 years, Adrian struggled with work and family, not knowing how to even read a grocery list. But Adrian made the decision to change, and when he did, an agency of the United Way was ready for him. We never know when we will need or want help from family, from friends, or even from strangers. Caring hearts do build hope, and together with your support, we will continue to build the strong communities of Clinton and Essex counties.
Did you find everything?
Yes, I did. Bread, meat, cheese, eggs, and cookies.
How does that make you feel to be able to do that?
Make you feel good. A lot of things now make me feel a lot better.